Hello. I wanted to have a meditation recorded so that whenever you needed it, you could return to it. So you wouldn't have to necessarily rely on lives, but that you could turn this on whenever you felt that you needed some sort of grounding, some sort of reminder, some sort of pausing to check in with yourself. Um, so I've been kind of just paying attention and listening, and one of the things I want to remind you is that this is real life. A lot of the ways people are speaking about the coronavirus is kind of this thing that we have to overcome, this thing that we're waiting on ending, or this thing that we're waiting on for some future date, some future arrival when things will go back to normal. And I want to suggest that this is life, this moment. There was a beautiful podcast that I listened to a while back, and the person speaking was talking about the flies at the picnic. And how a lot of times, he was like sharing a story about like going on a picnic, and then there's a bunch of flies, and the flies are getting on the food, and you're like, oh my gosh, trying to get the flies to go away, and then you pack it all up because the flies won't go away, and you move over to a new place, and then oh, there are flies there, and you're like, well, we can't start the picnic until these flies go away. And he was talking about how we're constantly waiting for the discomfort to go away. We're waiting for the thing that we see as the obstacle, the flies, to go away, instead of just realizing that the flies on the food is the picnic. Coronavirus being all over the world is life. And the coronavirus, I don't think, is going anywhere. I think that this is kind of the new way that this is like the new information that's now on the planet. It's the new information that has come into our awareness. And I want to encourage you to not stop living. Life in this moment might feel different. It might have changed. But that is actually the nature of life, is that life is constantly changing. And we're now just faced with it because the changes have been so drastic. We're like, you can't avoid the change. When in day-to-day life, we can kind of avoid the truth that everything is constantly changing. And with that avoidance, we're not actually in tune with life. We kind of live this life like we know everything and that we know what's going to happen tomorrow. And this has really shown us that anything can occur, and it's quite beautiful. And it's quite sad at the same time, like people are dying and there are things going on, but it can actually be both. It can be both, we can mourn our own life, our past life, how things were, and we can still live and find the beauty and find the gifts and opportunities for innovation here. It's both. And this is a really beautiful time to begin learning the practices of learning to be with anything that comes up. If I could say anything about my meditation practice, is that it has taught me that whatever is here, whether it's pain and suffering, whether it's joy and excitement, whether it's grief, whether it's boredom, sleepiness, whatever it is, body pain, whatever it is, that I can actually be with it. And that whatever life changes into in each moment, that I can be present with it. And that I can be grateful for it and be grateful for having this life in this human form, to be able to experience whatever arises. And that all is welcome. When we were born, we were not born into a system saying, you only get to enjoy pleasure and pleasant things. No, we were born into a whole system. We were born into this whole system that has darkness and light, that has pain and pleasure. And all of it is welcome. We were born into the system of having all of it. And our only job is to be present here for all of it, whatever's here in each moment. Even during the coronavirus, there's going to be moments of deep pleasure, and then there's going to be moments of pain and grief. There's going to be moments of frustration. There's going to be moments of laughter. That each life, actually, in Buddhism, we say, each life is filled with 1,000 sorrows and 1,000 joys. And our only job is to practice being present with it. And a sitting practice, a practice where you actually get quiet and still enough to be able to watch things come and go, to watch joy arise and joy fade away, to watch sorrow arise and sorrow fade away, and just being present and alert and aware and awake for all of it. To actually experience the human life. And in experiencing your human life in this body that you've been gifted with, you begin to understand all of human life, because everyone is dealing with the same things. So this is the practice of learning to be with self in such a way that in doing so, you learn to be with life as a whole, the life of all beings. So today we're going to just do a simple practice. And this can be a practice that you return to as often as you choose. And it's the practice of just becoming aware of whatever's arising and then practicing sitting with it. And you'll notice that we'll bring concentration to the breath. And then what will occur is that you will be taken away from the breath. That is normal. That's exactly what's occurring here too. The breath represents present moment, so whatever you're doing in present moment. So when we're sitting, it's breath, but when we're in real life, it's talking to our kids, cutting the vegetables, driving to the grocery store, digging in the dirt, reading the book, working on the project for work, whatever it is. So that's the breath in meditation. We're focused on present moment. And then we get swept away, taken away from present moment. And we get taken away by a lot of things, no problem. And then we can observe that, oh, I'm taken away. And then we, with gentleness, compassion, and persistence, we practice returning to the breath, returning to this moment, returning to what's here now. And this is the practice of returning to your body, returning to this present moment experience, so that you can actually be awake and alive in your body in this moment, so that you can fully experience life. Because life is here. Life isn't in some future or in some rehashing of the past. Life is here now. So let's practice. Okay, so find a seat. I don't care if you're in a chair, you're on the couch, you're in your bed, you're on the floor, wherever you want to be is perfect. And go ahead and allow yourself to get just really comfortable, cozy. You want your posture to be alert so that sleepiness doesn't take over, but really comfortable, allowing your body to kind of hang on its bones as it wants to. And we can start by relaxing and releasing any tension in the forehead, the cheeks, or the jawline. And then we can let the shoulders melt down, the upper chest and the back, releasing any tension. And then we can release tension in the belly, letting the belly drop open. And then we can release any tension in the hips, the legs, and then relaxing the hands. Finding a posture that's open and relaxed to receive. The posture where it's easy to be present. And then from this outer posture, go ahead and scan the body for your breath. You might find it at the nostrils, You might find it at the chest or the belly. And just begin observing the breath. Notice if when you inhale, it enters into the left nostril or the right, or maybe both. When you exhale, exhaling out of the left nostril, the right, or maybe both. Observing, is the breath shallow? Is it deep? Is it smooth or is it labored? And then go ahead, if you can see if you can feel the whole body breathing. How when you inhale, your body expands like a balloon, entering more into the world, taking up more space. And then as you exhale, your body shrinks back and moves more toward itself. Similar to ocean waves, the breath has rhythm. Your only job during this sit is to observe your breath. And then when you're taken away from breath, which you will be, this is normal, you simply note what took you away. Knee pain, thoughts of the past, thoughts of the future, fear, heart palpitations, whatever's here that took you away. Note it, and then ask yourself, can I let this be here just as it is? Can I be with this just as it is? Not needing to change it or judge it or fix it, but just letting what arises be here. Notice what the answer is. Notice what it feels like to sit with it. And then with persistence and compassion for the human experience, redirect your attention back to observing your breath, back to the present moment. If you've gone from your breath, you can know that this is completely normal. Note what took you away, future fantasizing, thoughts about the past, thoughts about worry, thoughts about planning, knee pain, whatever it is, note it. And then ask yourself, can I be with this just as it is? Allowing it to be here. And then with persistence and compassion, redirecting your attention back to your breathing. If you've strayed from your breathing, no problem. Note what had you stray. Thoughts about the future, thoughts about the past, planning, back sensation, outer noise. Ask, can I be with this just as it is? And then with patience and persistence, redirecting your attention back to your breathing. If you notice you're taking the practice seriously, maybe add a smile to your lips. It's not just what we practice, it's how we practice. Take a moment, just check in with your nervous system. Check in with your state of being compared to when we started. Notice if you've softened, if you're more calm, if you're more present. I will end this sit with a poem and then metta. The poem is by Rumi. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. For he may be clearing you out for some new delight, the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. As we do metta, it might be skillful to place a hand on the heart. May each one of you know peace, true peace. May each one of you know health and well-being. May each one of you be free from internal and external suffering, so that all beings that we walk hand in hand with on this planet may know peace, may know health and well-being, and may be free. You can slowly take your time coming out of meditation. I want to suggest as you walk through the next few days that you practice checking in what's here. Grief, anxiety, future thinking, and you allow yourself to pause and ask yourself, can I be with this just the way it is? Can I be with this just the way it is? And then give yourself permission to return to whatever you're doing in present moment. Cutting the vegetables, talking to your child, making the phone call, sitting and reading your book, whatever it is, practicing. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.